computer. Which is, you guys see my SAP screen, right?
Yes.
All right, so welcome to the session. Today is November 3rd. So today we look at the dunning procedures. What is the use of dunning? So dunning is basically sending payment reminders to the customers for the outstanding invoices. So typically in a business, what do? The companies, they sell to the customer. When they sell to the customer, it becomes receivables, right? So they have to collect money from the customers. So some customers, they pay on time. Some customers, they don't. And even though they get payment terms. So for those customers, we have to send payment reminders, right? So let's say you default the AT&T bill, they'll send a notice saying that your amount is due, right? If you keep doing it, and then they will probably take a legal action. It goes to a collection agent. And then they will start sending legal notices, correct? So to what extent the company can actually send you the reminders, to what levels, for how many days in interval, and then after which and how long after which, if it's the right word, sorry, if it's the right phrase, they will escalate this to legal procedure. So all these are created in dunning, under the dunning procedures. So dunning, when I say dunning, so if you go to here, go to accounts receivable, accounts payable, business transactions, incoming, now dunning. Under business transactions, you will see dunning, basic settings for dunnings. And then what is the dunning procedures? And then what's a printout? Printout is basically how SAP prints out the notices, right? A so-and-so person, you have this many invoices due, and we are charging interest or whatever it is, it will specify in the paper, piece of paper, which gets printed in the dunning form. Okay. So the first of the basic settings is define dunning areas. So, so what is a dunning area? So like I said, what is dunning? Dunning is basically to send a payment reminders to the customers, correct? So it's a company code specific. A company code is a legal entity, right? So each company code will have a different dunning procedures. If it's hard to remember, dunning is basically a correspondence notices that you send to the customers.
Yes.
Okay. So in this situation, you create dunning areas, like in SAP. In anything in SAP, they create areas, credit control area, controlling area, right? A lot of areas, sales area. Yeah. Why they do that? Have accountability, have separate responsibility, right? Yeah. So that's why they divide everything into multiple categories, so that each, they can assign to different group, different team. Make sense? So this is company code specific. As you see, in a company, under the company code, they can have multiple dunning areas, which means, hey, these are my government vendors. For government vendors, as a customers, you don't typically send notices, right?
Yeah.
Because they're budgeted, they're going to pay you anyways, right? And you don't want to send it to them, and send it to who? You can't send it to somebody. If a customer is buying from, like Home Depot, so government is buying or procuring, right? Generally, they go through contract, but I understand the bids and offers and contract, but sometimes they also buy, whatever it is, then, you have to treat them differently. Okay, the dunning area is basically how you wanted to deal with your customers. Okay. Right, I think somebody changed purposely all the customers to vendors. Oh my God. Okay. So here, let's just do this. Right. So look at this. They're supposed to be domestic customers, foreign customers, and government customers, and so on. Okay. The way you deal with domestic customers and foreign customers, there's a difference. Correct? Okay. Right? Because it's a long communication channel, and you can send notices to them, and there could be different policy, different pattern, different format, different communication channel, all this stuff. So that's the reason you create multiple dunning areas. Okay, this is company code specific. So since we are going to work on 333 company code, okay, a dunning notice for each dunning area is not even for company code. So So I'm going to delete this guy, even though that's an error. That's why I'm going to delete all this 333 nonsense. That is what I'm trying to delete. It's just giving me error. Okay, delete, deleted. Right. So I'm going to create new entries. 333. We'll create 01. Overseas customers, right? And then what else? What can you add one more?
Domestic customers.
Domestic customers. And can you add one more?
Government customers. Government customers.
Okay. And then one more.
Local customers?
That's different from local. Okay, and then. So the reason I'm, you have to think in terms of right now when I'm telling you, your mind should start imagining, like visualizing, right? So you can tell pretty much more, like 20, 30, 40, 50. So what else? What can we add? One-time customers. Okay. I'm going to create this. Save. Okay, this is the first step. So I'm creating a dunning area. So you know the concept of dunning area. Why are we creating a dunning area, right?
Yes.
Jay,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if the employee who works in the same company, if he is a customer, then where are we
If
gonna?
an employee, that's actually a compliance ethics, right? A employee buys from a customer.
No,
it's
the employee he buy from in the same company where he works.
He can't. I don't think so.
He can,
Okay.
right? He can buy from 333, right?
One second. Let me take this call. Hello? See, typically, right, in a large corporations, okay, if an employee, I don't think you can be a customer. Okay.
No.
It's a compliance, it's an ethical disclosure issue. You cannot be a vendor, you cannot be a customer, because otherwise, if you're an employee, you can influence, right?
True.
That's true, but some we have retail customers, right?
So you pay money and buy. They don't give you credit.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I know you're talking about Apple. Apple, they don't give you maybe. So for example, if you're talking about Apple, you have to pay money and buy it. They don't give you for credit.
So they just treat you like a regular customer. They don't get any special discount or anything.
Even if they give you discount, they don't give you like installment. They don't give you, okay, pay me after 3 months. They don't do that.
Okay.
Okay.
But
so
still it goes to the same account like you sell to the regular customer.
It can, but definitely, I think maybe yes. I'm not really sure. They can have a bulk customer, different employee customers, right? They can have that.
Okay.
1 second. Okay. The next step is Dunning keys. Actually, this is the first step. Okay. So Dunning keys. What is Dunning keys?
Maybe to send out these payments.
Right. So so dunning keys limits the dunning level of an item. So when you say dunning key is 1, how many let's see here. Let's define dunning keys. Let's see here. So define your dunning keys in the step. With the dunning keys, you can limit the dunning level of an item. Define either instead of an addition to the dunning key, whether the items with the dunning key are displayed separately in the later. So you can limit the dunning level of an item. So dunning key basically goes into your customer line item. Okay, when you, for example, when you're posting an invoice, okay, for a customer, and that invoice you have a special payment terms with the customer, okay, that you don't want to like done him. You don't want to send payment reminders for that particular invoice. Make sense?
Okay.
Yes.
When you
Okay.
post that invoice, that particular invoice, you are saying that, you know, I'm not going to do that. I want to limit it. How many times this invoice can be done? How many notices it can be sent, right? Because you have a special situation where for that particular invoice, you don't want the stupid machine to send payment reminders all the time. Keep on, right? So you can define dunning keys, and that dunning key will go into the open item. When you post an open item, you can mention that. Then it will say for this, you can do only one level, only 2 levels, 3 levels. 3 levels means how many times you send notices.
Got it.
Let's say 30 days he's supposed to pay. He did not pay in 30 days. Now, how often you will send reminders? Once in a year? No, right? Every 15 days? Maybe. Every 14 days? Yes, right? Now, you first 14 days, you send a notice, first notice. That's called level 1. Okay? Now, again, he didn't pay. Then, as next 14 days, again, our system will automatically do a dunning, print a reminder notice, send it to him. That's called dunning level 2, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, they have SAP has a maximum of, I think, 6 dunning levels, which I will tell you later. Next screen, next step. So this is basically to limit, okay, how often or how many times you can maximum done a particular invoice. Okay, if you just leave it empty, it will take the whole procedure, default, right?
Okay.
Right. So then define, the next step is define dunning block reasons. Let's say you want that particular invoice never to be done at all. Okay. That could be a situation, right? So you have a customer and you know that this guy going to pay. You never wanted to, let's say, and again, a government customer, right? You don't want done him at all, right? Or you are supplying to a local, your sheriff county or your, fire control department, whatever it is, right? I don't want, even though I sell something to them, I don't want to send payment remittance because, these guys, generally they are highly respected people in the society,
Right.
Yeah.
right? I definitely don't want to done them,
True.
right? So that situation, I can say, I'm going to block this dunning notice. So I'm going to block this invoice from generating dunning notice. Make sense?
Got it.
Similarly, dunning key is also same thing. I can say for this customer, let's say I'm dealing with a billionaire customer. He is my only billion dollar worth customer. I would rather, whenever he pays, I'll take the money, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Got it.
Makes sense.
So I can put that dunning block saying that for this invoice, never block it, never send a reminder, because for me it's a gold. I already got a hit jackpot.
Yeah.
Whenever he pays, I'm going to take the money, right?
Okay.
Great. So these are the 3 steps. The next comes the dunning procedures. So this is very important. Dunning procedures have all the details. Okay, this is fun. So let's work on 333. Oh, sorry, this was 0001. Okay. I wanted to create dunning procedure. Let's create it. This is very important. Okay. So let's create. I'm going to delete the 333 and create again. I think I can create 333. Delete this guy. Yes. Now I'm going to create a new procedure. Okay. Or you can also copy from, see, from 001 to Dunning. This copy is not possible. So there's a way you can copy. Let's see, Dunning procedure, choose, let's see, 001. All right, so that is the way you can copy, that's okay. So new procedure, let's put 333 here. This is a new Dunning procedure for training all the smartest folks in the world. See, it didn't let me. All right. Right, so Dunning interval in days. This is important. What is Dunning interval in days? Again, you can always press F1, right? So you should thank to Microsoft. So Dunning interval in days, it says you must determine at which intervals the allocated accounts ought to be done for every Dunning procedures, which basically says that how often you want it to done. There is an invoice that is due. Do you want it done in 15 days or 14 days or 2 weeks? Sorry, it's the same thing, right? A month, right? Or 99 days, that is what you define here. Make sense?
Got it.
Yes.
See, during every Dunning run, the system then checks whether the run date is at least this number of days since the date of the last Dunning run. Make sense?
Yes.
System will check whether it was done before or not, whether it was done within 15 days, 14 days, right?
Got it.
Then system will check this invoice was done 14 days ago, so I'm not going to, I can do it now, right? So that's the procedure for Dunning number of interval days. So let's put, usually they do it 14 days. We can put 14 days. Then number of Dunning levels, okay? So SAP can have maximum Dunning levels,
6.
I think 6. I take your word.
No, you told me sometime back. Okay.
So let's press F1. Yeah, the highest Dunning level of a Dunning type, I think it's 6. Let's stick to 6, okay? Right? If at 6 is, I mean, 4 is reasonable. I think SAP gives 6, right?
Okay.
Right? I
6
wouldn't want,
versions.
I wouldn't want to send 6 times to a guy, right? If he's not paying second and first time, second and third time, why would I spend money on sending these notices on the 6th time, right?
Yeah,
Make sense?
exactly. Yeah.
Right. And the next one, total due items from the Dunning level. So total due items from Dunning level. So this is a little tricky. Let's see here again. See, the total is placed in field. Okay, in Federal Republic, it says Federal Republic of Germany, quote orders can only be served as total amount from which all the due items are not altered. Dunning level from which all the due items in an account are total. Okay, so this is basically even though you're Dunning, okay, but when you calculate the overdue, okay, when you calculate the overdues, all the due items are total. Let's say here's the thing, it won't happen, right? These are SAP gives all these options, exhaustive options. You can just leave it. You can just leave it 0 and move on. Okay. I try to explain to you. It's good for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Total due items from Dunning level. So take a scenario. You are Dunning an invoice. Okay. First time you done 14 days first, again 14 days second, right? After 14 days third, again fifth, right? Great.
Okay.
When even though you are Dunning, right? So you have a lot of invoices, right? The invoices are floating. It's not just one static, right? It is floating,
Yeah.
right? So when you send a customer, then one invoice could be second level, right? Another invoice could be third level, right? Fourth invoice second could be fifth level, right?
Okay.
Because it's based on the payment due dates. Make sense?
Yes.
But
Yes, yeah.
when you're calculating the total due items, do you want to take the due items from all this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? or you want to calculate the due amount only for the 3, 4, 5, because 1 and 2 you just start dunning.
True.
Maybe you want to be lenient, right? Well, you know what? We just done you for the first time, first level. I don't want to treat this as a really due. Make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Wow. Never explained this to anybody in my life. Really having fun
Okay.
with this. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it empty here. So minimum days in arrears. Okay. Again, there's like a grace days. Okay. So you wanted to give some, even though this is due on so and so date, you wanted to give some days in arrears. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
these minimum days in arrears have no influence on calculating the days overdue. Days in arrears, which at least one item in this account must have a dunning notice to be created. Okay. So let's say what they're saying is you have a customer, they have 10 invoices. Okay. Now one invoice is falling due, right? On the, let's say on today, 3rd of December. Okay. Now we are not waiting to dun anybody, right? Because dunning costs money, and you send it dunning, it's not actually fair. It is when I send somebody payment remittance, I don't really take it. I mean, I don't feel good, right?
Mhm.
You don't want to do that to your customers, right?
True. Yeah.
It
Right.
looks like you are just actually waiting for the invoice to fall due, then you can send the notice to
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
So you can say, we give it 3 days. You know what? Let's wait for 3 days. Make sense?
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Good.
that you can put 3 days or 2 days. So you have 10 invoices. Again, you get 10 invoices the customer, and then at least one invoice it's falling due, and right, and then you're going to start sending reminders, but you will give 3 days. Okay,
Okay. Mhm.
because the payment might be on the way. Make sense?
Right.
But
It does.
these are only for the 3, 4 levels, right? Not.
No, this is not a level at all. This is, let's say you have
Okay.
you have 10 invoices, the one invoice is falling due.
Okay.
So you're going to, first time you're going to done.
Got
Okay,
it. Mhm.
right? Now this is line item grace periods. This is different. Line item grace periods are basically, let's say you have 10 invoices. Okay, and then when you want to done, now you remember you have 14 days,
Mhm.
every 14 days. Now you really want to do this every 14 days, right? You can actually, of 14 days, you can actually add this grace periods.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't want to done this now. So there's a difference between the minimum days in arrears versus line item grace periods. Okay, so this will add to the 14 days here. Okay, no,
Yeah.
guys, grace periods. What is called grace
So
periods?
extra days, extra
Exactly,
time. Yeah.
exactly, right? You're just being lenient to them, right? I'll give you 3 more days. I'm going to wait 3 more days. Okay, this is different. Now this is different because when the invoices are falling due, okay, you're going to wait for 3 days. Okay, this is all the 10 invoices. This first invoice is falling due, and you can wait
Right.
for 3 days. That is a different story. Whereas now you decide to done all the invoices, all the line items, but you're still giving 3 days as a grace period.
Right.
Yeah. They
Right.
get a total of 6 right now.
Depends on whether it's applicable, where it's applicable. So this situation, this is like when the first time you're going to do this guy, customer.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, right? So just imagine you have a new customer. Okay, now you have 10 invoices. Okay,
Okay.
now this 10 invoices, first invoice is falling due. Okay, now immediately you don't want it done. You said wait for 3 days. That is a different story.
Got it. Mhm.
Whereas this one applicable for everybody. Okay,
Okay.
when new customer, old customer, whether they're a regular customer, you're gonna use the 3 days.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Okay, interest indicator. You want to charge interest on the, you want to charge interest, right? Because the day passing by, this is a cash, right? Your liquidity getting unstable, right? and you may have to borrow money in order to run the business if they don't pay you on time. Correct? Then you can charge interest on them. System will
Okay.
automatically calculate interest if you have interest indicator.
Got it.
Then another thing is public holiday calendar. This is also very important because, right, you don't want to
Yes.
send this on a Thanksgiving
Business
weekend. Nobody
days,
will,
yeah.
yeah. So you have to take them into account.
Got it.
Okay.
When they say number of days, you can say number of days. Do they include federal holidays? Do they include state holidays? So you have to use a public holiday calendar if you have one. Otherwise, system will just take 30 days, including all the Saturdays and days.
Okay.
Right? So that's what it is. So reference dunning procedures for text, because it's going to print text, right? Dunning procedure is to determine the form names when printing dunning notices. When the dunning notices are getting printed, okay, system will print the procedure. Basically, why we are dunning, what is the procedure.
Okay.
Then when you print that, you can see, because you should know when you print the customer dunning notice, right? You should know why am I printing this? Is it correctly printing? Am I using the right procedure or not, right?
Yes.
Because you can have many procedures. A company can have many procedures for many customers, right? Different customers have different procedures, right?
Yeah.
So when you print, you should know, okay, this is my procedure, which means this procedure will say 14 days in interval, number of dunning levels, this is the level 1, all this it will print in the bottom.
Got
Okay, so I'm going to save this. Specify either normal transactions or this is standard transaction dunning. It says this is not open, I'm not sure why. Done special GL transactions, even dunning even for credit account balance. Can you do this? You know what it is? You know what it's called? Dunning even from credit account balance.
Wow. Even letting the customer know they have a credit balance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So you don't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have credit balance, then he will call the police.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with.
Yeah.
So what's the error message? Dunning level data still has not been entered. Okay, great. So now once we do this, this is a procedure, right? This is the main important screen. Okay. Now on the top, see here. So dunning levels. This is where we're going to enter. Since we entered the dunning level 6 here, system will show each level. This is each level.
Okay.
So here for each level, it says days in arrears. Do you want to wait 3 days? Do you want to wait 14 days? And so on. Okay. Level 1 is the first notice, first remainder. Level 2, second remainder, third remainder, fourth remainder, fifth remainder, sixth remainder. These are levels. The reason we have them here as a number of levels. Number of levels or number of remainders.
Right.
How many times you want to send this notices, right? So for each level, each remainder you are sending for one single invoice, what's your number of arrears? So you first invoice due on today, you put 3 days. So this dunning will generate after 3 days. Okay.
Okay.
So this is system automatically calculates. You know how? I didn't put this here, right?
Right.
Can anybody tell me?
Is that the 14
Exactly.
Saturdays? Yeah.
Correct. It just adds 14, 14, 14 plus 3, 14 plus 3, 14 plus 3. Right? 14 plus 3. Right? 17 plus 14 plus 3. 31 plus 14 plus 3. 45 plus 41 plus 3. 59 plus 14 plus 3. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Make sense? Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right. So now, do you want to calculate interest for each level? You can check. If you do this, system will automatically calculate the interest based on this interest indicator, which we specify, which in this case we did not. Okay. Do you want to calculate interest each level? We don't want to. Okay. Now, always done. Let's take this guy here. Indicates that the dunning notice is still printed even if no change has been made to the dunning proposal since the last dunning run. Right. A dunning proposal is recorded as change. No change has been made to the proposal is last run. Okay. So always done means so you when you create a dunning, similarly with the payment proposal. Okay. When you create a proposal, right? Payment
Okay.
proposal, right? Similarly, system will create a dunning proposal. Hey, these are the
Okay.
items I'm going to done. Okay, these are the items I'm going to done. The system will create a proposal. So what system is saying that, let me try to rephrase. This indicator is generally set for the highest dunning level. Okay. So let's skip it here. The next one is, we saw the dunning levels, right? 6 levels.
Mhm.
Charges, currency. So this company code, I believe it's Euro, not USD. So I'm going to go back and change this to. So for Euro, for each level 1, what should be the minimum dunning amount? Okay. So let's say there's a guy, customer, I have an invoice open for $10. Do it done? I wouldn't done, right?
No.
Right?
Not at
So
all.
what should be the minimum amount I can done? Let's say it's worth $2,000, $200, maybe I can done.
Got it. Mhm.
Level 2, okay, maybe same $200, right? Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Level 3, $200 is my limit. Level 4, you know what? Level 4, I don't want to do that because I need to spend $200.
Exactly.
Right? Level 3, because the printing and stamping and everything costs money. Somebody running to the EPS and all this costs money, right? So I don't want to do that. So I want to do $200. I don't want to do that. So, okay, don't done level 4 if it's $200. Maybe you can done, but you charge some money. How about that?
Okay.
Dunning charge, I'm going to charge $30. Or you can charge percentage. You know what? Let's put 2%. Make sense?
Makes sense.
It does.
Save this. We saw that. Now we saw the minimum amounts. Did we? No.
No.
No, we saw the minimum amounts, I think.
Yeah, just now. Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's the
we saw the charges.
charges. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we saw the charges. Now with the minimum amount.
Mhm.
So what's the minimum amount I should charge? Dunning level 1, minimum amount,
200.
200 again.
Mhm.
3, 4, 5, 6. 200, 200, 200. We are poor people.
Mm-hmm.
So we still want the $200. All right. Now dunning text, right? For each dunning, 333. Okay, for dunning procedures, text maintained with reference to, yeah, because so we can do this here. So let's remove this guy here. Okay. Now if I go to dunning text, so in the dunning form, right? What do I want to print? There's a form here. Okay. For each dunning procedures, what are the text to be printed in the letter? Okay. So that's
Okay.
what we should use here. Normal dunning procedure, 3, 4, 5, 6. What text do you want to print? This is basically SAP script, which usually is created by,
Fine.
it's already created. You can just make use of it. Okay, so this is all the SAP forms. So I'm going to choose one D. Okay. Right, so this is the dunning form I'm going to use for same all the text. Great, so I'm going to save this.
How
Right.
do we know that? Sorry, Jay. Quick question. How do we determine, or how can we view the forms to see if the
You can, like I said, we can go from here, or there is a, let's say go here. I think you can do from here. Just double click. Maybe not. Okay, so let's go here. Double click here. Well, that is a transaction code where you can look at it.
Okay.
Okay, so we will do that later. Okay, so great. This is all we did. So now our dunning procedure is complete. So this is very important. We did a lot of things. This dunning procedure, how will this apply to my company code? Any questions? Any answers? So you created, right? This is my procedure. I'm going to done every 14 days and arrears, minimum charges, and so on. How this will directly affect my business?
It'll help reduce the receivables, outstanding balance.
Right, but how does it directly affect your company code? Because this dunning procedure, you have to assign to the customer master data.
Okay.
In the customer master data, unless you don't assign this will not take effect, right?
Right.
So what did we create? We create 333. This 333 has to be assigned to the customer master data.
Got it.
Okay. Right. So let's look at this. So I'm going to go back here. FT03, FT02. So my company code, let's say 333. So let's say Home Depot. I'm in the change mode. Transaction code FD02. Okay, so here you have to go to the company code data, correspondence. Okay, see, dunning procedure.
Okay.
333.
Got it.
If you assign, so in a company code, every customer, if you want it done, they should have a dunning procedure. Okay, make sense?
So yeah, so you configured the dunning procedure for 333 and then you keep assigning it to the respective customers. Okay.
Correct. This 333, I just gave a name, right? This could be something else. I'm going to save this. Now under correspondence, if you see here, under correspondence, so these are specific to dunning. See, dunning procedure, I assign this. Who is the dunning recipient? This could be some other customer, right? So even though I'm sending dunning notice to him, the customer recipient who receiving this could be somebody else. That's a group customer, right?
Okay.
So like sending company code, paying company code, right?
Like an agency or something? No.
Could be, right?
Okay.
We can send it to maybe to a bank. If there's a bank is the one supposed to pay, you can send it to the bank.
Okay.
Provided if you set this as a customer. Now the last done, system will automatically, once you're done, system will automatically update us as when this was done last time. Okay. This is all relevant to the dunning area. Dunning information. So let's do this. We saw this. We did this. Let's see if we have any invoices to be done. Okay. How can I see?
Dunning invoices. Let's see.
How do you see this?
Oh.
Open item FBL 5. So I got one invoice, 2,869 euro. Okay, document number for this Home Depot. I could done, right? This is due long time ago.
Right.
Now if I done, system will done what level? Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5.
Right.
Level 1, right?
Level 1, right.
Yeah, because we just set up a procedure. System is going to start. Hey, now it's due, right?
Right.
It is going to apply the 14 days principle from now onwards.
Okay.
It does not go and retroactively run this. Okay. So let's do this. So same like payment run. Okay. The transaction code is F150. For payment program, the transaction code is F110. This is 150. Make sense? 333.
Okay.
Level 1, for example. Okay, so I'm going to run this today. Same thing, right? No parameters entered. So I'm going to the parameters. Dunning date. When do you want it done? I'm going to done today. Documents posted up to. Same thing. So you want to take the document posted up to. The reason is you are sending, you are dunning once in a year, once in a week, right? So you want to take, let's say, you can do it today. You can take a document posted until Friday. Okay, or you can say, this is basically documents posted up to means everything has a due date, right? Okay. Again, it's all how you play around with the system. You can put last month date. That means system will not take anything, any invoice, any documents posted in this month. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you can play around with this document posted until. I'm going to take this today. Now, obviously, you put the company code 333. Now, here's the thing. What's our customer? 900 501. Okay. Enter. Now go to free selection. You know, this okay. Additional log. So again, system will create a log, right? Same thing like we did in the payment program, right? Enter. Save. Details have been saved for this run. You go to status. It says parameters maintained. The next is push the button. Settle. Start immediately. Okay. Settle. Okay. System is done. Selection running. Hit the button. One is complete. Great. One dunning notice is generated, of which one ought to be sent. Awesome, right? System actually. Again, same thing. We can look at the proposal. What's my dunning list? I just press the button. Press the hit button. See, system found this invoice, which we were looking at here in the line item report. Let me check my email real quick. Okay, this is from the proposal list. Now, once we saw the proposal, okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to print this. You can look at the log here and see, you can also look at the log and see how the system determines the data. Okay?
Okay.
So you can read this through. Company code is being processed because that's what we entered. Phase 0, phase 1, it's reading 1 items. Phase 2, as new dunning level, because it's first time we are doing this. Check legal dunning procedure. Credit memo, it did this. Minimum charge dunning interest, nothing. Generate dunning data, it did. Now this is being processed. This is using dunning procedure. No interest calculation indicator. Level 1 is used. And number of days in arrears, 170. Okay. Even though we put 70 days, 3 days, now actually we are doing after 170 days. Okay.
Okay.
Because this invoice was due long time ago. The next step is we're going to print this, right? You want to change it, you can change it. You want to change the dunning proposal, you can change it. Okay. Now you're going to print the dunning printout. Okay. Click yes. Start immediately. Yes. You know why we get LP01, right? LP01 is a default printer, dummy printer. It does not print.
Okay.
Right. So now done printout schedule on so and so time. Now printout is running. Okay, it's still running. Hit enter. One dunning notice is printed. Customer 1, vendor 0. Only one customer. Okay. Now how do we look at this? I guess you can look at the sample printout. Okay, put the customer 9500. Does anybody know? 900 501 900 501. See, you can display here. Okay, let's see. See, hey Home Depot, this is my first dunning notice. This is your address. This is your account with us. Okay, dear sir, madam, this invoice is listed below due for payment. Okay, this is document number, date, currency, amount, due date, arrears, 170 days in arrears now. And this is important, level 1, right? Okay, so this is how it looks like. So all this will be done. This form, the Kevin asked this question. ABAPers, developers will work on this form. They'll put the logo, they'll put the details and all this stuff.
Okay.
Make sense?
It does.
This is a sample printer. So you can actually, if you want to look at the printer, because I already printed this, this will be in my background job, SM37. /O, open another session, SM37, transaction code, maximum number of sessions reached. So I'm going to go back here. Okay, SM37 for my background job, execute. So which is this guy, 1658, I think. Okay. Spool. Click on the spool. This got the printer. Okay, system will not print unless you can print from here. Okay, if you set up a printer, people directly click here and print directly, or print directly, or you want to change the printer, you can print. Okay.
Okay.
Now, let's say after 14 days, okay, I'm running this again, right? How system would know that I have to pick this invoice? Is it level 1 or level 2? How the system would know?
Based on this check, based on the date, it references the date.
Exactly. Here, if you see here now, system has changed, right? In the customer master data, it put a note that, hey, I already done this. Just stay away.
Yeah.
Okay. This is level 1. Okay. After 14 days, system will done again. The level, it will change to level 2. Right? Then it will change the date to last done date. This is how system will, when you do the running, system will check here. When was the last time it ran? Okay, now you click here, system will give additional details. This is a procedure. Okay, this is a level 1, last 10 on. And legal notice, whether legal done notice, which is whether legal was sent or not, this will also specify. So even when you're doing, like I said, when you're doing 6 times, you can specify what is the legal level, right? Okay. 4th or 5th.
Across the dunning areas, the name of the customer is not displayed.
Because you are in here.
Okay.
Is this one?
Okay. The recipient side. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this is all about dunning. So there will be a lot of interview questions on dunning. Okay. There's somebody from a company in San Jose, some media company. Those guys really drew me on the dunning. Okay. Yeah, I'll collect some of the questions. So any questions so far?
Oh, no.
Okay, now you guys have to do the complete customer account setup, invoice posting, incoming payments, residual clearing, partial clearing, and then dunning.
Okay.
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 So anything I forgot about the dunning? Let me check. I think that's it. Sorry, not this one. Anything? Okay, yeah, one more thing. Sorry. So when you do the configuration, right? We were here. You can actually run, once we do the configuration here, generate list of dunning program configuration. System will tell you if any procedure is missing, whether you configured everything or not. because I know we went to multiple screens, right? Here is one place. Is somebody blowing the nose really hard? Or somebody's not sure who is doing what. I don't know. It sounds. It's like my kid running his Lego toy in my ears. So in this place, you can see all the configuration in one area. Interval days, number of days arrears, right? This gives a pretty good idea on dunning charges, minimum amounts, dunning text, everything. It's rather long, see? For each level, see? Each level, it tells you exactly what you're trying to do. How did we configure? See, minimum amount, level 6.
If something is wrong, there will be an error or something, right?
No, it will just tell you.
Okay.
It will not give you an error or warning. It doesn't do anything. Okay, but it's just generating a list. It is not a checklist.
Got it.
Okay, generate a list. So this you could see in everything in one place.
Got it.
Okay, the very important thing is dunning procedures. Okay. Then you create dunning procedures. This will have everything. Dunning levels, right? Minimum amount, charges, and everything. And then you assign this to the customer master. That's it. And then here is where the dunning forms are coming from. Okay, so you get a procedure. Our procedure is 333. I don't think we have anything here. 333. Right, see, these are the forms. I assigned here for level 1, level 2, level 3. So these are the forms. Remember, we saw the printing notice, right? This is coming from here. So you can actually say, let's say this is legal, then you can print what is for legal dunning procedures. We don't have anything for legal dunning. So all our procedures are normal dunning procedure, not legal. All the six procedures are just normal, not dunning procedures. Yeah. Normal. Why I say that? Because this is how it's selected here. So we go to levels. Somewhere I think we mentioned 3333. Form ID, normal dunning procedures, form, legal dunning proceedings. Yeah, procedure for level dunning every 2 weeks. Yeah, it's somewhere there where you specify whether it's legal or not. Okay. Then it will become a legal notice. Then that legal notice will have a separate literature, right? Right.
Okay.
Some legal literature, so it has to be a different form. Right? Maybe signed by Donald Trump. All right, so that's all it is. I really wanted you guys to, finish this by latest by Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. Sorry, Thursday. Okay. So call me, email me, WhatsApp me if you have any questions. Otherwise, yep.
Okay.